guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm, and today we're going to be carrying on our UI series. And in the last episode, if you guys are following, what we did is that we have created our label right here. So sorry, we created our combo box. So now we have input box, we have this one here that has an icon, that has a text, we have a checkbox, we have just a normal icon there, and now we have a selection box. And as you guys see, if you've been following the series, it's very easy to create UI with your engine. It does take a lot of try and errors. As long as you have all the assets as well, it makes it so easy to do. But it's quite easy to set up all this stuff for us. Right, so the next thing that we are going to do is that we are going to create a list. We're going to create this UI here. So we're going to create a window that is going to be a default window. And then on that window, we're going to have a slot that we're going to be able to add stuff in. Right, so without wasting too much time, let's use this one as example and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do here is that we're going to close all this stuff. We don't need it, the buttons and everything. What I'm going to do here is also, I'm going to get out this stuff. I'm going to wrap with a vertical box, just so everything gets aligned. I'm gonna plug this stuff. Oh, I'm just gonna plug all this stuff right there. I'm gonna make sure that they are like this. For example, one trick as well that if you guys are trying to create a UI, you see that this slot item is weird. It doesn't look right. So you can try to align this in the middle. But the best way I like to do here is just I like to wrap this with a size box. Make sure the box is aligned on the middle, and now what I can do is that I can align and create the size that I want my component to be, so it doesn't get, so you see it follows like a nice design there. But anyway, we got this stuff working properly. Right, so I'm gonna align the stuff here just so it stays out of the way. Cool. Right, file and save, let's go. So we are gonna go back here to our widgets. So I'm just gonna go back to widgets. I'm gonna create here another window, right? I'm gonna open up and I'm gonna create another one here. This is gonna come from the dev realm, and here we're gonna have WP base, sorry, MD stands for medium window, right? Cool. Let's do this. Right, so one thing here before we can actually start to do this is I'm gonna go back to widgets and I'm gonna go back to title, and I can see that we have a wrapper around our title, you see? So I'm gonna ungroup this guy. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna select this, I'm gonna drag and drop right there, and I'm gonna ungroup this as well. I'm gonna delete that. I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna go back to here. I'm gonna go back to my downloads, UI. I'm gonna go back to titles. I'm gonna create a new folder called title. And in here, I'm gonna call this just call background. Background's good. Nice. Now I'm gonna go back here, UI, title, background. Cool. Now, so what I'm going to do back here is I'm going to open up my title that I already have, the simple title, if you guys remember, right? What I'm going to do here is that I think I'm going to create a specific title for this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new item. I'm going to call, oh, sorry, it's the wrong one. I'm gonna call the dev realm, yep, call WBP title BG, right? And in here, I'm gonna add a background, or in this case, a border. I'm gonna add a WBP title inside, right? As you can see, everything is fine. I'm just gonna align everything in the middle, so everything gets aligned on the middle. Compile and save. Now it looks a little bit weird, so what we're gonna do here is then we're gonna go back to our UI settings. Then we're gonna right click and create, do we have another one? No, we don't. I'm gonna create a new structure called ST title. Maybe you should call title BG. It stands for background. I'm just gonna create here a background, right? And this is gonna be a texture 2D. Nice. File and save. Now we're gonna open up here our main settings. Here's gonna be called title BG. Let's call title BG. Yeah, sounds good. And we're gonna call ST texture. Sorry, ST. ST title BG. Now we're gonna save that. Let's save everything. Open up our window and let's add a new folder here called title BG. And let's just drag and drop that icon here. I'm just gonna rename this to title BG. That's because my Inkscape's open. Let me just close without saving. It's gonna be title BG, so it allows me to open. I'm gonna drag and oh yeah, I forgot to add the prefix here. I'm gonna drag and drop this guy right up. It's gonna drag to the right place. Let's open up Inkscape again while this open. Right, cool. Now all you gotta do, open up your title BG, and I'm just gonna drag and drop this guy right there. Right, cool. That sounds good. Now we can save everything. It's gonna open up my. Let me just open up that reference so we can follow what we're trying to do. Cool. Now, so the next thing that we are gonna do here is that we need to load that information to our title BG. So that now what we're gonna do is make sure it's a variable. We're gonna call this border. File and save. I don't know why that's not working properly, but anyway. So we're gonna go back to graph, get a border. We're gonna set texture from brush texture from texture, and we're gonna get UI settings. Break this guy, and in here, break this, and we're gonna drag and drop this guy right now. Now, if I did everything right, it's loaded properly. Now let's bring this title BG here, and let's see how does it look like. So if I try to extend it, actually it doesn't look too bad. It looks quite cool. Yeah, I thought it was gonna look a little bit weird, but it doesn't look too bad. Actually, it scales and does everything. One thing that I forgot to do here as well that is really important is just make sure that we have a couple of things in here, like for example, we need to be able to set the size of the title, and there is a flaw on our widget here. So on the title simple, what I'm gonna do is we have the font size, alright? Font size. Do we have a way to change that dynamically? We don't. Right, so no, sorry. Yeah, we do. Sorry, we do have a way of changing that dynamically here. So it's gonna put 42 by default. File and save, and let's see how does it look like here. That's too much. Let's put 32 by default. That's all right. Okay, so this is gonna be things like you know, any title that we want. But anyway, this component is sorted, which is great. Now the next thing that we are gonna do here is that we need to add the window, right? So let's go back to the windows here. And I'm gonna go back to my Inkscape design, and here we go. So I'm just gonna ungroup this, and also I think we need to fix one component here before we can work with this, and I just forgot, which is the button. The button component, for some reason, we also need to give an option so it only shows the text, it hides the text as well, and only keeps, but I think we're gonna have to create an icon button to do this. So let's do this, let's do that. So to create an icon button, I'm gonna just duplicate the same button, and I am gonna call, I'm just gonna put this on another window, I'm just gonna call this button icon, right? So I'm gonna open up this guy right here. I don't care about my text, I only care about the icon. If I compile and save, we're gonna have some issues there, so I'm just gonna remove those references. Compile and save. Where do we have the referencing here as well? We don't need it. Compile and save. Cool, nice. Now also, we don't care about the inverted color for this one, so I'm gonna find the references. I'm gonna delete this. Yeah, this is gonna throw an error, I guess. It didn't, but that's fine. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna keep it like this. I'm gonna delete that button here. I'm gonna go back to my UI settings where we have the button. What is it? Button. There we go. Nice. So now what we need to do here is that we're gonna just add another one. We're gonna call background icon button. Icon, that's it. And it's gonna call texture 2D. Alright. Nice. I'm gonna save everything. Now all we gotta do, go where we have the button. Let's go back here to my Inkscape. We're gonna export to that. I just need to export this background. Download libraries, home here. So I'm gonna go back to UI. I'm gonna go back to buttons, and I'm gonna just call this background BTN, or actually background icon. That's it. Now what we're gonna do is that we just need to go back to my UI here, and I'm gonna drag and drop this guy back to Unreal Engine. There we go, and we're just gonna populate it right there. We're gonna save everything, and now we should be able to use that on our new button icon. Cool. Here, so that's fine. It's gonna ask for an icon. We're gonna put it right there, and we're just gonna fill up everything here. That's it. Compile and save. Press play. Now it has like the icon right there. So don't worry about this. This is just because of the size. So if I put, for example, 100 by 100, it will look good. Right. Next thing that we gotta do. Now we got our base in place. We're gonna go back to Inkscape here, but before that, let's just create here another variable called what is it here? Blueprint structure st window MD. Right, and now I'm gonna open up this structure, background, and here it's gonna be texture 2D. Yeah, and now on this main settings, no MD. Just mistype the window here. It's gonna put, yep. Now we just need to load the window st window MD, and that's it. Save, and I am gonna save all, right? Open up this guy, and now what we can do is on here we can just load our window background. So I'm just gonna create here another window MD folder. Just gonna go back to my Inkscape and export that. So I'm just gonna create another folder for you guys here. Open up that. Now on here we are gonna go and so here we have an option, right? We could export it with this ornament or without it. So I'm gonna first export without the ornament, and then I see how it's gonna look like. Right, so I'm gonna export this window. One folder up here. I'm just gonna call this t-background, right? Size is good, so it's right. So now what we can do is just drag and drop this back to the window MD, and with this selected, you go back there, press save all. Cool. Right, so let's bring our window back into place. So there's different ways you can create a window, but the way I like to do normally is basically I create a border, right? And then on the border, I'm just gonna do it quickly here just so we find it and match the right size of this. So you got the size, and I'm just gonna wrap this with a size box, right? And the size box that I want for this is, for some reason, why is it not allowing me to keep the size that I'm looking for? Okay, let me put a custom desired size on screen. There you go. Alright, so I'm gonna do something like 600 by 800 pixels. How does that look? It looks okay. Maybe a little bit bigger without losing, so let's put 700 by 1000. So we have, actually 800 looks good, looks better, yeah. So let me just drag and drop this to our test UI to see how does it look like. So there we go. I'm just gonna delete this title PG here. See how does it look like. Yeah, it looks good. It doesn't look too bad. It has a different certain size. It's not pixelate, which is great. Now we just need to assemble the window properly. Right, so now that we have that stuff kind of done, so we're gonna go back to window here. And if I go back to my Inkscape, we have a UI to follow. Let's just do some rollbacks in here. So we need to put the title right on the middle, and then we have the close icon right here. Right, cool. So I am gonna add for this a canvas inside this. I'm gonna make sure that my canvas, it has no padding, right? And now that I have a canvas, I'm gonna add a title, and this is going to be a BG, right? Now if I go back in here, yeah, cool. So what I can do with the title, I'm gonna anchor this right on the middle, press 0, and for the alignment, I'm gonna put 0.5 and 0.5. Alright, yeah, so after you have added the title, you anchor that to the right place. What we can do here is, I think I'm gonna wrap this guy with a scale box, right? wrap with scale box, and I'm gonna explain in a minute why I'm gonna wrap this with a scale box. So because I'm gonna wrap this with the scale box because I want that no matter the size of the text to always has the right data inside. And I think, for example, if I put, let's select the title here. It doesn't give me the option to select the title, so let's just change this guy here. For some reason doesn't leave me. Yeah, we haven't done that. Okay, let's just add title, or sorry, yeah, title is fine. Name. Let's select this as a string. And I know this video is getting a bit longer, so I'm just gonna finish this title, and then we're probably gonna split this in two parts. But anyway, so I'm just gonna call the API set value. And in here we're gonna do that here, and also as usual we're gonna create a custom event called API set value title, and we're just gonna do the same thing we did here. And the reason why we're doing this is just because in case you guys wanted to do this on the fly, you have the option to do that, and you don't have to miss functionalities and stuff. So I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna plug this one right now, and I'm just gonna plug this title right here. I'm gonna compile and save, and this is gonna, I'm just gonna call my title test. Alright, compile and save, and now if I go back to this, I have a my title test right this, which is great. So if I go back to the MD windows, right, that is looking a little bit weird. So let's see if I can remove it. Right. And I can actually expand this this title. Let's see if I can anchor this on the middle. 0.5 and 0.5. Right. Let me see if I can edit this component. To be honest, what I'm gonna do here is just gonna edit this guy. I'm just gonna wrap the text with scale box, file and save. So then what happens is that no matter the size that we have, the box is always scaling, as you can see now, right? So you're gonna leave, like, for example, on this size, and doesn't matter how much we want to scale or scale down, it always have the right data. One thing I forgot to do here as well, it's just that we need to expose this, otherwise we won't be able to change this on the fly. So compile and save, go back to here. Now I should be able to change this to, I don't know, shop, for example, right? Or something like this. So yeah, guys, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna pause this video, and then in the next one we're gonna finish this window here. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.